This week, we're in East Texas to discover a hidden gem lost among the woods there. However, it hasn't been lost long, and there's hope it might make a return. This week, we explore the Four Winds Renaissance Fair.
Texas is full of lost history, from lost cemeteries to abandoned buildings, from the infamous to the obscure. Hitch a ride and travel across the Lone Star State, looking for hints of Texas' colorful past, our lost history. This is Expedition Texas, and we're gonna find it.
According to Wikipedia, a Renaissance Fair is an outdoor weekend gathering usually held in the United States, open to the public and typically commercial in nature, which purportedly recreates the historical setting for the amusement of its guests. In East Texas, the Four Winds Renaissance Fair was so much more. The fair lasted over a month, included jousting, rides, contests, and more. But most of all, it was a family outing that could easily last for several days. The fair's proprietor, Dustin Stevens, talks about where the fair got its name.
Well, the Cherokee Indians moved here back at the turn of the 18th century out of the Tennessee Valley, having come back from Paris, France, living with the royals there, and influencing Rousseau's concept of the noble savage. And the name Anianwea Cherokee means the people of the Four Winds, or the human beings of the Four Winds. And I named the Four Winds Renaissance Fair after my ancestors that lived here until 1836.
But Dustin's love of history predates that moment in U.S. history. In fact, it predates all of U.S. history.
I was a bookish child. I'm a city kid in the country. What do? You read all the time. And as time went by, I was really enamored with King Arthur and the Knights and the Middle Ages. And we had horses, and I had access to steel and plastic and kydex and all sorts of materials. So before you knew it, a lot of my friends and I were building armor, riding horses, and jousting. We built our first tower out here in about 1980 to 1982 and started jousting out here seriously in those years. The gates for Four Winds Renaissance Fair opened in 1994, and we ran annually through 2014. We closed our gates in 2014 when my mother died. Originally, we had planned to do something along the lines of Epcot Center, the World Pavilion, and have like medieval France, medieval England, medieval Portugal, medieval Spain, medieval Germany. It's ended up being more of a mishmash. We'll have a Scottish house in the middle of a couple of German towers, near a few Arab-styled or Moroccan, towers. So we have, a bit of a mishmash of a lot of different cultures. It's kind of like a world between medieval worlds.
This world between medieval worlds was a major event in East Texas for many years. But as things began to decline, Dustin recalls the closure of the Four Winds Renaissance Fair.
It became a difficult situation of how am I going to manage my father's estate? How am I going to manage my family's businesses? And try to start this all over again from scratch. I had a lot of buildings, and buildings are important, but you've also got to have trusted friends and people that you can rely on to build a structure correctly and not just build something temporary.
The buildings at the fair were anything but temporary. In fact, all of them are still standing. So we're headed to East Texas now to see what remains of the Four Winds Renaissance Fair.
How's it going, Dustin?
Oh, pretty good. How are you, Bob?
Doing fine. Man, the Four Winds Renaissance Fair. This is awesome.
He would sit and taunt the public, saying things like, I bet you couldn't hit the broadside of a bond.
Expedition Texas, presented by the City of Canton, Texas, home of world-famous First Monday Trade Days. Eastland, Texas. Find your adventure at eastlandtexas.com. And by Clifton, Texas, the Norwegian capital of Texas. See history, art, and more. Visit clifton.org for more information. What started more than a century ago as a flea market has become home to the most exciting shopping experience anywhere. First Monday Trade Days in Canton, Texas brings shoppers face to face with 7,000 vendors from all over the country selling everything imaginable. Couple that with the small town hospitality of local businesses and you have a good reason to visit every month. The market is held Thursday through Sunday, the weekend before the first Monday of every month, rain or shine. Plus, there's lots to see and do every day in Canton. Learn more at visitcantontx.com.
Hi, I'm Larry Vernon, Mayor of Eastland, Texas. Eastland is a wonderful city strategically located in the heart of Texas on I-20 and Highway 6. We offer a small community feel with exceptional amenities, often found only in cities many times our size. Here you'll find shovel-ready sites for your development projects, an enthusiastic workforce, blue ribbon schools, quality health care, and a progressive, business-friendly city and state government. We welcome you to Eastland.
Discover Clifton, Texas. Experience the Norwegian capital of Texas and all it has to offer. History, art, and more. While you're there, visit the Bosque Arts Center or take in a movie at the Cliftex Theater, the oldest continuously operating theater in Texas. The Bosque Museum, historic downtown, the Cultural Arts District, antiques, and shopping. Plan a trip and spend the day in historic Clifton, Texas. Learn more at visitclifton.org.
You're watching Expedition Texas.
We're in East Texas at the site of the Four Winds Renaissance Fair. The fair's only been closed a few years, but its location down a lonely back road, the buildings that remain, and the historical significance of the land on which it sits make it an interesting story to tell. According to the owner, even the area used as a parking lot holds interesting history. The once flat land was reworked into gradually elevated sections by Native Americans who once lived there and worked that land. But now we're headed in the back gate, beyond the jousting arena, to meet the owner of the fair, jousting champion Dustin Stevens.
How's it going, Dustin?
Oh, pretty good. How are you, Bob?
Doing fine. Man, the Four Winds Renaissance Fair, this is awesome.
Thank you.
What are some of the buildings you have out here? I mean, I see things all around. I see some ride-like attractions, and then behind us, is that a jousting arena?
That's our joust field.
Wow.
Yep, it's been there since 1994.
So you guys get out here and rough each other up?
On occasion.
Yeah. And so what are some of the attractions you guys had out here?
Well, games. We had the Crow's Nest ride over here, which was a hand-powered carousel. Also, we had the Joustabout, which is a combination game and ride, where children would get on a little horse and ride down that rail and attempt to catch a ring and then hit the knight at the end of the rail.
Is there a weight limit on that?
We've had people my size and bigger.
I'm bigger.
Yeah. In fact, everybody at the fair used to go out there and ride
really?
For hours.
Well, it looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, it's great fun.
I love the construction out here, Dustin. What was this building?
This is our tavern. We could put about 200 people inside here for singing, dancing, eating.
Oh, awesome. And now, is this what I think it is?
It is. That's a stocks. We used to have our vegetable vengeance man get in here, and he would sit and taunt the public, saying things like, "I bet you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn." And
yeah.
A little girl with a bucket full of tomatoes, and that's why we're kind of fading a bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what are we gonna look at next?
Well, gotta get out of here first.
You're stuck?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna come out.
We'll be right back then.
Jeff West had this. He did a lot of found objects. He would take things like jigsaw blades and old antler horns and make knives and pottery. He would take found objects and make objects of art.
Looks kind of like a pirate ship.
That was the idea.
Yeah, that's awesome. and what is this? I see benches and a stage.
Yeah, this is the dragon stage.
Wow, this is cool, Dustin.
Thank you.
Hello, welcome to the fair. That's not even the right accent, is it?
Oh, it works for me.
Okay.
Pretty classic, pretty
Yeah,
standard.
yeah. So this is pretty cool. So you could have plays out here?
Yeah, we used to do a the Death of De Winter scene. Used to be done when we had our Three Musketeers theme going on, and we'd have the Lady De Winter. She'd escape and she'd run in here, and the executioner would follow her in with his big axe, and she'd try to climb out the window, and he'd have the axe, and he'd reach her out, grab her by the hair, and drag her back in. She'd have one leg out this window. Finally, on the upper level, they're fighting, and they got up there, and he'd try to get out the window, and she'd grab him by the hair and drag him back. And they'd end up fighting back and forth all through here, and finally at the end, she'd end up jumping down, you know, throwing a cowl up over her head and slipping away and going, and slipping off into the crowd.
Well, that's so cool. It's like there's something to do out here every few feet.
Well, you know, that's the great thing about art. It's just there's always something, and anybody can get into it. If it's theater or if it's handcrafting.
And for a fee, you could even throw a friend in jail.
They would arrest people for a fee. They'd arrest your friends or your wife.
Oh.
Or she could arrest her husband and or boyfriend or whatever.
So you could come out to the Renaissance Fair, have a fun day, and get thrown in the brig. Yeah, that's awesome. So are these more shops here?
These are more shops. This is sort of the classic English, old English concept. The family would live in the upper area.
Really?
And the shop would be down below, so at night they could put all their stock and things and lock it up.
Yeah.
Or they could go upstairs and sleep, you know, and be ready to go fresh in the morning.
So we're kind of standing above what would be the main entrance right
The main entrance, yeah. This is our main gate. This is the parking lot back here.
What is Suddenlink to go? It's TV you take with you. It's your favorite shows online. It's the biggest networks on your laptop computer. And it's free to Suddenlink customers. What's Suddenlink to go? It's the easy way to get complete watching freedom anywhere you have a Wi-Fi connection. And it's another way. Suddenlink just keeps getting better. Start streaming TV to your laptop today.
We're in East Texas, between the towns of White House and Troop, exploring the site of the Four Winds Renaissance Fair. The fair was a popular family attraction and the brainchild of history buff Dustin Stevens. Dustin's goal with the fair was to bring history to life for the visitors and to give artists a place to share their craft. Many of the settings were built by Dustin and his team, including the grand entryway.
So we're kind of standing above what would be the main entrance right now.
The main entrance, yeah. This is our main gate. This is the parking lot back here.
Now you mentioned something about terraces that were built out here that were dug by
the Anianwea Cherokee.
Really?
Yeah. This was all Indian land back, you know, from about, I don't know, probably 1750 to 1836, 1838, when the Texas Trail of Tears sent all the Cherokee up to Arkansas and into Oklahoma.
So the reason we see leveled the land at the different levels here, this isn't something you did, it's something they did.
This is not a natural landform. They actually came in here, the whole tribe would get out and they would work for an afternoon or a day or two, and just everybody would get together and they would make these levees to hold the water in, and they would plant along the tops of those because it would hold the water and the moisture. Federico Cerna, one of my knights, was an armorer here. He would fix armor and saddles and things all through the day after every joust. And he also sold a bit of armor as well.
After every joust?
Just about after every joust.
So you had to repair it after. See, I told you, that's dangerous, Dustin.
Yeah. Well, you know, you can't, it's not a sport unless you can die.
What is this? Is this?
Archery range.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a guillotine.
I thought that's what that was.
It makes a real satisfying crunch sound.
Don't put your head in there. Now listen, it was okay doing it on the other thing, but this, I don't know about that.
Right,
no, that's okay. Here, we'll put, whoa! Here, raise that up again. We'll put this in there and chop it up. Here you go. Now you got that? Here we go.
The tone that came off of there?
I got it right there. There's
the demon foot?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Oh, no, we got to go higher.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Oh.
Well, Charles, the blacksmith here, he would encourage people to come back behind the forge and actually help them make their own knives or their own nails, or a variety of different products. And he would demonstrate not only how to blacksmith, but actually let them have hands-on hammer experience, working back here with the anvil. And
man, it might take a little work to be able to do anything back here.
Oh, we just need to put a new roof on it.
Yeah. So did you build this chimney?
Nope, actually the blacksmith built that chimney. But the stone came from around the site.
Is that coal?
That looks like coal to me.
So he burned coal. He did it the old-fashioned way then.
Big old chunks of bituminous coal.
Cool.
You want that coal?
You don't want this.
Oh, it's delicious.
Good for you.
Another key feature of the Four Winds Renaissance Fair is the castle that the king and queen called home.
Right now it's the Chateau de Mort, or Du Mort. It's supposed to be a U, but House of Death. But that's what we do when it's Halloween. A big haunted house. But this was where the king and queen held the queen's tea each day.
Cool. This is pretty nice. This building is a little more finished out than a lot of them, right?
Right. It's we had a leak in the ceiling a while back, but we just got through putting a new metal roof on top. So
this fireplace, this mantle back here, did you make that? Where did that come from?
that actually came from the Goodwill over in Longview.
Really?
Yep.
So somebody had a fireplace that big in their house
Absolutely.
and took it out
And took it out
and gave it to Goodwill.
and gave it to Goodwill, and I bought it for $100.
Man, you never know what you're going to find in the thrift shop.
That's
Is
so true.
cool.
And they would twist it around in a circle, and as it would wrap around the pole, it would coil up, and then you just let it go, and it comes spinning right back down again.
Expedition Texas, presented by Go Power Sports. Family fun on 4 wheels. Visit GoPowersports.com. Eastland, Texas. Find your adventure at EastlandTexas.com. Clifton, Texas, the Norwegian capital of Texas. See history, art, and more at visitclifton.org. Hi folks, Bob Malden here for Go Power Sports. Whether you're looking for an adventure on the road, off the road, or making your own road, Go Power Sports has everything you need to get rolling. My kids and I love our Trailmaster 150 XRX from Go Power Sports. And we can always keep it in top shape with their full line of parts and accessories. Visit GoPowersports.com and be sure to follow them on Facebook. Go Power Sports, your off-road go-kart specialists.
Adventures in Eastland, the home of Old Rip, the horn toad that slept in the cornerstone of the Eastland County Courthouse for 31 years. Here you'll find the Eastland Civic Center, the historic Conley Hotel, the beautiful Majestic Theater, commemorative parks, Inspiration Cross, and much, much more. Call 254-629-2332 or visit us eastlandtexas.com.
Discover Clifton, Texas. Experience the Norwegian capital of Texas and all it has to offer. History, art, and more. While you're there, visit the Bosque Arts Center or take in a movie at the Cliftex Theater, the oldest continuously operating theater in Texas. The Bosque Museum, historic downtown, the Cultural Arts District, antiques, and shopping. Plan a trip and spend the day in historic Clifton, Texas. Learn more at visitclifton.org.
You're watching Expedition Texas.
We're in East Texas exploring what remains of the Four Winds Renaissance Fair. Our guide is owner Dustin Stevens. We've seen several buildings and performance areas, but the biggest attraction for young visitors were the rides.
Well, this is the joustabout. It's basically a game and ride. Children would get on go up the stairs here, go over and get on the horse, go down the rail, and try to catch a ring back here on this on the blue T-post back there.
Well, this is still really nice, Dustin.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my souvenir hunters came out and took the horse.
Somebody took your horse?
Yeah, it's not much good now.
Well, that's no good.
But a couple of skateboards and a little bit of woodworking, and I can build another one. Just have to find some time. But it was a fun game. Everybody loved this game. Had to go down the rail and catch a ring down here and then try to hit the knight at the far end and win prizes. And a lot of the time people just do it over and over again just to do it.
Yeah. Well, it looks like fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. In fact, after hours, everybody would come over here and play this. Oh, this is an original carnival ride from like the 16th century. The royals, you know, in France and England would have these made for the royalty, and basically it would be suspended by these 4 cables, and they would sit on these benches, and then they'd have pushers, or we call them push monkeys, and they would twist it around in a circle, and as it would wrap around the pole, it would coil up, and then you just let it go, and it'd come spinning right back down again.
Oh!
And if you really, you know, it's kind of the precursor to the merry-go-round or a Ferris wheel or any number of other, you know, carnival rides today, but it was all kinetic.
Yeah, and it all worked on
just gravity.
People power.
Exactly. And if they really wanted to have a thrill, then they get the push monkeys to go in and grab it, you know, at the far end and just push as hard as they could and just push it around again and try to speed it up.
That's awesome.
But
well, now, Dustin, I don't know if I've ever told you this.
What's that?
But I have memories of coming to the Four Winds Renaissance Fair.
Oh yeah?
With my oldest son when he was a little kid.
Right.
And he rode this very ride.
Fantastic.
And so it's really cool to come out here and see this place and know that it's still here, because I have memories attached to this place, and I know you've got a lot of good memories.
Well, you know, the best 20 years of my life were spent here. You know, every Saturday and Sunday after every joust, I would knight every kid that wanted to come out onto the joust field. And that was my best memory. And I still today have hundreds of kids, you know, wherever I go. People go, oh, I remember you from the Renaissance Fair. You knighted me when I was like 6.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thanks so much for showing us around. Yeah, and sharing these memories with us, man. This is awesome. And here's to maybe this thing coming back to life someday.
Well, here's hoping.
Yep.
For Dustin Stevens, this place is about more than just entertainment. Many of these structures were built by his hands. They were built on his family's land. Even the land itself contains rich history. Unfortunately, unless the fair receives a healthy amount of funding, it's likely to remain history itself. Still, you can almost hear the laughter, smell the blacksmith's fire, and taste the mead. The structures are all still there, and Dustin and his knights are still willing and ready. So maybe someday, Four Winds Renaissance Fair will be reborn. Until then, Dustin does his best to fight off the effects of time on his creations. Down the road, there's more lost history, another lost legend waiting to be rediscovered. So come along. On Expedition Texas, we're going to find it.